As the old saying goes, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's probably true in sports, as everybody looks for an extra edge to beat the competition. Athletes and coaches will go to the great lengths to try and carve out any kind of advantage they get. But once they get caught, it's game over. Let us look at some Olympic athletes who were caught cheating. Ben Johnson. In the 1988 Seoul Olympics, Canadian Ben Johnson won the gold medal for the 100-meter dash.
The pure euphoria of the 100 meters men's final, 1988 Seoul Olympics.
A time of 9:75, Ben Johnson has done it.
However, just a day after his big win, he tested positive for anabolic steroid and was stripped of his medal.
Good evening. The nation is in shock tonight over the downfall of a Canadian hero.
Victor to villain.
The urine sample of Ben Johnson was found to contain the metabolites of a banned substance, namely stanozolol.
It was then awarded to American Carl Lewis, who ironically had tested positive for stimulants during the 1988 trials. But this had been overturned by the U.S. Olympic Committee.
It was necessary at the time. I didn't have any second opinion. I was a young boy. And that's it. Then, I win the gold medal and I lost it. So that's life.
The confession got harder today for Ben Johnson. He couldn't contain the tears.
And the Dublin inquiry that followed intended to figure out how rampant was doping in sport, how it could be stopped.
Madeline and Margaret Dejesus. Like something out of a Hollywood movie, Puerto Rican twins Madeline and Margaret Dejesus attempted to outsmart the 1984 Los Angeles Games. When Madeline hurt herself while competing in the long jump, she sent her identical twin sister Margaret to compete in the 4x400 meter relay. Once the chief coach of the Puerto Rican Olympics team discovered what they'd done, he pulled the entire team from the Olympics. Fred Lorz. An early example of Olympics cheating, American Fred Lorz won the marathon in the 1904 Olympics Games in St. Louis. Problem is, he had actually stopped running at the 9-mile mark, claiming exhaustion, and given a lift by his coach in a car for 11 miles, only for him to then run the remaining part. When spectators complained that he had not run the whole race, the title was given to fellow American Thomas Hicks, who had also got some help in the race, as he used performance-enhancing drug strychnine. Spiridon Belokas. Another Olympic marathon cheater. In 1896, Spiridon achieved third place in the race, only for it to be discovered that he had completed part of it by horse and carriage. He was disqualified, and as the first two winners were Greek, his disqualification deprived the host country from winning the top 3 prizes in the race. Marion Jones. American sprinter and long jumper shot to fame in the 2000 Sydney Games when she won 3 gold medals and 2 bronze medals. Suspicions quickly arose, not just because of her incredible feats, but more importantly because of her husband, an American shot putter, tested positive for steroids. She vehemently denied any illegal doings, until in 2007, when she admitted she had used steroids in training for the Sydney Games. All of her medals were stripped.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Marion Jones Thompson, and I'm here today because I have something very important to tell you, my fans, my friends, and my family.
And so it is with a great amount of shame that I stand before you and tell you that I have betrayed your trust.
I want all of you to know that today I pled guilty to 2 counts of making false statements to federal agents. Making these false statements to federal agents was an incredibly stupid thing for me to do. and I am responsible fully for my actions.
Boris Onoshenko. In the 1976 Olympics, Ukrainian Boris cheated while fencing British opponent Jim Fox by having modified his weapon with a click that tallied up his score without him actually touching his opponent's weapon. The British team exposed his cheating and he was disqualified from the games, and the press labeled him as Boris the Cheat. Fined in his home country of Ukraine, he is last known to be working as a taxi driver in Kyiv.
And subsequently, what happened was it was found that these two wires here that are insulated and have to be all the way up to the plug, they were being tampered with, and apparently he had something on his finger where he could close the two weapons, and this would cause the light to come on. In the Olympic Games, there are an awful lot of pressure, not even in a country like Russia, and in our own country too, a lot of pressure to do well. And I suppose he just panicked and thought he could get away with it.
Tunisian modern pentathlon team. In the 1960 Rome Games, the Tunisian modern pentathlon team got off to an epically poor start. To start off, each member fell off their horses, followed by another athlete almost drowning, and then another disqualified from the shooting section because he accidentally almost shot a judge. To ease off the humiliation, during the fencing competition, they simply sent their best fencer back for each part, hoping the fencing mask would be good enough for a disguise. Believe it or not, this cheating attempt failed, and the entire team was thrown out of the games.
In the final reckoning, every country other than Tunisia finished with a score between 10,000 and 15,000. The final tally for our friends, 5,126, which is the pentathlon equivalent of finishing 75 metres behind the winner in the 100 metres.
East German female swimmers. The women's East German swimmers did exceptionally well through the 70s and 80s. However, steroid use was long suspected, especially considering the members' noticeably deep voices and exceptionally muscular frames. While they denied steroid use for many years, in 1991, the team admitted that they had indeed used these illegal performance-enhancing drugs.
In the 1970s and 80s, the former nation of East Germany enjoyed unprecedented Olympic success. They won more medals than any other countries except the United States and the Soviet Union, a staggering statistic for somewhere which had a population of 17 million. The East German authorities basked in the glory of their athletes' achievements, hailing them as ambassadors in tracksuits. But when the communist era came to an end, the long-held suspicions of many observers were confirmed as it emerged that around 10,000 East German athletes had been involved in a state-sponsored doping program. Of those athletes, it's believed that over 2,000 of them went on to experience significant health problems as a result, including heart disease, cancer, infertility, and depression.
Dora Ratjen. Dora Ratchen won the women's high jump record in the 1936 Berlin Olympics. There was just one slight problem. Dora was actually horsed. Years later, Horst complained that he was ordered by the Nazis to pose as a woman, for the sake of the honor and glory of Germany. He lived the life of a female athlete for 3 years.
Badminton Scandal. And finally, one of the biggest cheating scandals in modern-day Olympics history. It's very unusual to fail deliberately on such a huge stage where you're representing your country, but it does happen. In the 2012 London Olympics, 8 female badminton players were booed off the pitch after players regularly served into the net or hit wide on purpose in order to lose and play weaker teams in the next round. 2 teams from South Korea and 1 each from China and Indonesia were disqualified and charged with abusing and demeaning the sport of badminton. That's our list of the top 10 Olympic athletes who were caught cheating. Would you cheat on such a huge stage? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And as always, thanks for watching.